Hi, gamer friends. I'm Danielle,
And I'm Josiah.
and we are ready to roll.
Biggest surprises of 2024.
Yes.
That's the video we're doing today.
Yes. They can be games that are either published in 2024
hmm
or before that, but they are games that we played this year that surprised us the most.
For the first time.
Yeah, played for the first time that surprised us the most. The important thing is these are not necessarily my favorite games.
No.
These are just games that we just weren't expecting and just totally surprise us.
There is some crossover to my favorite games of 2024 on my list, but not all of them.
Okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see what they are. We do not know what each other's lists are,
Yep.
But I have a feeling we have a lot of crossover because we play so much at 2-player, and a lot of our experiences are the same.
Yep.
And so I'm sure we'll have some crossover here as well.
Okay.
All right. So do you want to start it, or do you want me to?
My number 10 biggest surprise of 2024 was Wormspan.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've obviously heard of Wingspan for a while. I actually didn't know Wormspan existed until you started talking about it and then bought it. It's a game where you're building a deck of cards of dragons and caves, and you have to build out your cave and entice dragons into it, and resource manage your resources and your money.
Yeah, because to play your dragon cards, you have to have certain resources, and then they go in certain caves.
Right.
Sometimes you have to have eggs. Sometimes it gives you eggs. There's different things.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's some comboing that happens, stuff like that. So anyway, it's a really, really fun game that was surprising to me. I thought I would like it okay, but I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
Okay. So that was your
my number 10.
Okay. My number 10 biggest surprises is Ark Nova. So Ark Nova is when you are building out a zoo. You get to put the enclosures in, and then you're drafting these different cards and playing these cards out, and they're all different animals, and they have to have certain enclosure types and everything to go into your zoo. You can wait, what is it called? Conservation.
Yeah, conservation.
And that's how you end up winning the game, is you get points for different things. Anyway, and the reason it is on this list is because I thought I would like it because it's a zoo and animals and all of that. And I thought, oh, that's going to be cute and fun. I did not realize how much game was in this game, if that makes sense. It was I'd heard people talk about it, and I heard oh, this is such a great game. And I'm like, yeah, it probably is, whatever. But the amount that I liked it is what is surprising. I did not realize how much I was going to love this game. And so that is my number 10, Ark Nova.
My number 9 is Sagrada.
Oh, I love Sagrada.
Yeah. So Sagrada is a game where you are making stained glass. And it's a bag of dice. You draw a certain amount of dice out, you roll them on the table, and then it's drafting. It goes around and draft the dice. And then you got to put them in this puzzle that you have, and you can't have the same number next to each other. You can't have the same color next to each other, and so you have to build out this stained glass with these rules and figure out the puzzle of how it all works together. And there's extra bonus points for doing certain things, and it's just really fun. I thought it would be like a meh, it's fine, game, but it is really fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Really fun. Super surprising to me.
I love it. I love Sagrada. All right, my number 9 was Botany. Now, Botany is a game that we just recently played. It came out in 2024, and our youngest daughter purchased it, and she really enjoyed it, and she wanted to teach us how to play. And going into it, I was like, okay, so it's really pretty. So the art on it is it's different types of flowers and different things. So it's really beautiful in that way, but it looks really dry.
Yeah, very dry.
And so I was like, ooh. But she was like, I really want to play it. And so we thought, okay, well, we're going to play this with her. And then she taught it to us, and we played it, and there was a lot more game to it than I expected. I actually really enjoyed the experience. I can say it's a pretty good game.
Yep.
There were a couple of elements still, like I think it overstays its welcome a little bit too much. Like it's a little bit long
By
for
2 or
what
3
it is.
turns.
Yeah. But other than that, I really enjoyed my gameplay of it, and it really surprised me because I thought it was not going to be good at all.
Yeah.
And it was a really good game.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. Yeah.
It is.
So that was my number 9, Botany.
All right. My number 8 is Cascadia. This is a tile placement game where you're building out an environment for animals to inhabit. Mm-hmm. It's a game that I thought looked boring.
Okay.
When we first got it out, but it is not. It is really fun, and it's really snappy. The turns go really quick.
They do.
And you can play the game, relatively fast.
Yeah, maybe like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Something like that, 20, 30 minutes.
You get in-game points for the certain regions that you connect together on the lands, and then bonus and then in-game points for certain combos that you have with the animals. And it was a lot more fun than I expected it to be.
Yeah, I like that you draft the tile and the little animal with it at the same time, and you have to place both of them in your
so it's a little puzzly
in your habitat.
In that way. Yeah,
I really enjoyed Cascadia.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it is. My number 8 is Air, Land, and Sea. Now, this is a card game that he absolutely loves. There are 3 theaters of war. So basically it's kind of a war game. There are 3 theaters of war, and you are dealt 6 cards. And you have to, by the end of the game, have played out enough cards in 2 of the 3 theaters to win that round. And it is a puzzle because each of the cards has like some sort of special ability. So it's either going to give me some sort of advantage, or it's going to give my opponent some sort of disadvantage.
Yeah.
And it's trying to figure out, I guess, how to maximize your turn, how to make sure that you win 2 of the 3 theaters of war. Yeah. And there's so much game in that little bitty box with 6 cards. I mean, 6 cards each. There's so much to it. And I just thought, I thought it would be a fun game, like just a little fun game. And it is, but like there's just a lot more game than I ever thought.
Yeah.
So that is.
I will talk about this a little bit later.
Okay. So that was my number 8, Air, Land, and Sea.
My number 7 is Sea Salt and Paper.
Okay.
I thought this was going to be just a little kind of okay little game that was, something that we pull out every great once in a while and play. But it is an absolute banger. I am down to play this game anytime anybody wants to play.
Yeah.
It's so fun. You are trying to collect sets to gain points, and also there are cards like animal cards that combo off each other to give you more points.
I love the penguins. Just FYI.
Yes. and I'm an octopus man.
Yeah.
and there's some fun mechanisms in the game where you can push your luck and say last chance. If you get above 7 points, if you have above 7 points in your hand, you can say last chance, and everybody else gets a turn, and you're betting that you have more points than everybody else at that point, because if you win, you get all of your points plus all of your color bonus, and everybody else just gets their color bonus, so it gives you a big boost.
Yeah.
But if you lose, somebody else gets that, and you only get your color bonus, so it can backfire on you. And I love push your luck.
Yeah. And I also love that they have this, there's 4 mermaids, and if you get all 4 mermaids, you immediately win the game. But it's never happened. It's never happened. We've never seen 4 mermaids come out.
Yeah.
I mean, they've come out just in everybody else's hands. So.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, it is so much fun. Way, way more than I expected to get out of that game.
Yeah. Okay. My number 7, we've actually already talked about. My number 7 was Wormspan. As far as surprises go, because I thought it would be a pretty decent game, but I loved this game. Yeah. Like we played it several times. I was like, I want to play that again because I want to see if I can figure out how to maximize my turns more, or all this, do different kinds of dragons, or entice different types of dragons. So yeah, I just really it surprised me because I enjoyed it so much. I just loved, I guess, the gameplay of it, all of it.
It's really good. My number 6 is Air, Land, and Sea.
Okay.
This game just clicks for me.
Mm-hmm.
It just hits for me. I love the two main things I love about it are the puzzle of figuring out how to win with the 6 cards I have, and that's it. That's all I get.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to figure out the puzzle of how to win with that hand, and all the shenanigans you can get up to. I love that aspect of it, where I can throw these cards down and mess up my opponent's plan, and then they do the same, and I've got to figure out how to adapt and and get around it. And
so many shenanigans.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, my number 6 is Sky Team. Sky Team was such a surprise to me because I knew I'd heard some good things about it, so I figured we would probably enjoy it. But man, did we enjoy it.
A lot.
We played it so many times, and we played through every scenario and loved it. We have played so much Sky Team this year.
Almost 50 times.
Yeah. And so it's one of our most played games of the year. And so that really surprised me. I love that you can try and figure out what to do. Like you can talk before you roll the dice,
right.
But that roll of the dice may change everything that you just talked about.
Yeah.
And you may have to try and figure out something different.
And you can't talk after you've rolled the dice.
Right, exactly.
So you have to try and figure out, based on what the other person is placing where and what dice number they put, what they're trying to tell you.
Mm-hmm. It's really one of my favorite cooperative games, for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is so good.
Yeah, it's great. So that is my number 6, Sky Team.
My number 5 is Sky Team.
Oh, okay.
So we won't talk about it much more, but
why did it surprise you? How about that?
The same reason. I didn't expect to love it.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a decent game and a good game, but man, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I just found myself wanting to play it more and more and more and more, just over and over. And couldn't get enough of it. We had to finish it.
Yeah, we did.
And just the element, like I said on your list, was the element of it, of trying to figure out what you're trying to tell me.
Right.
Are you
based
saying
on what I put
are you saying to go high on the engines, or are you wanting to? You put a high dice. Do you want me to put a low dice so we only go mid, or things like that? So I loved it.
And then you're like, no, I rolled all 6s. I didn't have anything else to do.
Right. Yeah. So super fun game.
Yeah.
That's
so
my
good.
number 5, Sky Team.
My number 5 is Boop. I really like Boop. So Boop it looks like a kid's game.
Yeah.
That's just all there is to it.
It really does.
And you have this little quilt, and each player has a color of kittens and cats, and you have to get 3 kittens in a row to upgrade to cats, and then 3 cats in a row to win the game.
Right.
And it sounds really simple, except that when you place one, it boops all the other ones in a direction.
Yeah.
And so it's like a very chess-like puzzle game, which is really surprising because, like I said, it looks like a kid's game. Like if I was playing this, I can see little nieces and nephews running around and being like, oh, I want to play that. And they probably, some of them probably could play it, but it actually has so much more.
Yeah, a lot of strategy
to the game. Yes. This is another one that I am not good at, but I do really enjoy playing the game. And I was definitely surprised at how good of a game this was.
I think I won 11 times in a row before you won one.
I know, it was so awful. I'm like, am I ever going to win this game? I did win, and then I was exhausted. Like my brain was exhausted. I was like, okay, I won. I'm done for now.
Yeah.
So that was my number 5. Boop.
My number 4 is Distilled.
Oh, wow.
Yep. This is a game where you're making alcohol. You buy the ingredients or collect the ingredients to put in your bottle and your barrel, and either sell or age to gain points. It seemed like a game that was kind of dry and boring to me when I first saw it, but it is not. It is really fun, and I keep wanting to play it. I keep wanting to go back to it. It surprised me a lot.
Yeah, it's a really good game. I think all of the mechanics of the game just work really well with the theme.
Yeah.
And the components are really good. Like I like this game a lot.
Yeah, it's the theme is strong.
Yeah. Oh, and a side note about Distilled is it has one of my favorite things when a box has a lot of stuff in it. It has one of those sheets that tells you how to put the game back in the box so it all fits perfectly. And I know that's a small thing, but I love it so much.
Please do that every designer.
When it has those, like, all these components, you're like, how do I get this back in?
Yes.
I love it so much. So that's really beside the point, but I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's just a really, really good game that I keep wanting to play more and more, and I didn't think I would enjoy it that much. So yeah, that's my number 4, Distilled.
My number 4 is a game called Scout. And Scout's been played by a lot of people, and it is and been talked about a whole lot. I think it won some awards and everything, but it's a little bitty oink game, and it has so much punch in that little game. So you are dealt a hand of cards, and you cannot move your cards. You can't put them in any kind of order. You can't do anything. You have to keep them the way that they are. At the beginning of your hand, you can turn cards around because there are numbers on either side. But then after that, it has to stay. And you are playing out cards, and they're either runs of cards like 2, 3, 4, or sets of cards like a pair of 2s or whatever. And you either play or you have to scout a card from somebody else's hands that they've already played.
Right.
And so there's just so much gameplay in this. And I thought, okay, that'll be a fun game. But it's so much fun, and we've been able to play it with different people. Everyone seems to enjoy it. And so that's why it was so surprising to me how good this little card game was.
I gotta say, I'm surprised this is your number 4.
Oh, you thought it'd be higher?
No, that's pretty high.
Yeah. Well, now remember, these aren't like my favorite games of all time. These are the games that surprised me the most, and Scout was a big surprise for me.
Okay.
So number 4, Scout.
All right, my number 3 is Boop.
Okay.
Yeah,
surprised you too.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot, but what surprised me the most about it was the amount of strategy in the game. It is a thinker. I just loved that about it. It made me really work and think about, if I do this, it's going to do this and this and this, and she might then do that, and it's going to move me here, and like planning out moves ahead of time, and really, really fun.
Yeah.
And how can I get her to play here so that I can do this and that and get my cats in a row or whatever. Anyway, lots of strategy, tons of game.
Yes.
And it surprised the heck out of me.
Yeah, it definitely was a good one. And we haven't played Boop or Boop the Halls.
Yeah.
So we don't know anything about those, like if they're better or worse, or if but I would venture to say they're probably good as well. Right, but I don't know about for sure.
Yeah, so that was my number 3, Boop.
Okay, my number 3 surprise was Expeditions. Expeditions was a game that I thought might be pretty good. It was kind of the sequel to Scythe, and we thought, I wanted to give it a try. I actually got it on sale, and so I went ahead and bought it. I probably wouldn't have bought it if I hadn't seen it on sale, and so I just didn't think I would like it that much. And you have like these mech minis that you have to move around to these different areas and gain resources and draft cards.
Yeah.
And the whole point is you're gaining points for different things, and once you get those, you get to add like a star to say, oh, I've completed this, and you're gaining points the whole time. And it really worked. There was like this engine that you get building, and so I don't know, I just really enjoyed it way more than I thought. The theme is like okay to
Yeah.
me. Like I wasn't, that's why I wasn't really super interested in it. But I really like playing the game. The
Yeah.
game is really fun to me. I enjoy it.
It is a fun game. I didn't expect this to be on your list at all.
Yeah, it was a big surprise that I enjoyed it as much as I did.
Yeah, that's good.
That was my number 3, Expeditions.
My number 2 is Obsession.
Oh.
This is a game that's basically Downton Abbey in a box. We love Downton Abbey.
Yes.
We've watched all of Downton Abbey and we love it. It's not something that I expected to enjoy as a game.
Right. I knew I would love it.
Yeah, for sure. And even when we started playing it, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to really like this game. But man, did it surprise the crap out of me. It is so good.
It is.
I love all the mechanisms in the game, and the theme is just dripping with theme, and the flavor text that you've talked about in another video on the little cards is amazing, and the hosting events, and like just it really transports me to Victorian era sort of high society family and building my reputation, and man, it surprised me so much. I love it.
You got to get marry your children off to one of the Fairchilds.
That's right.
You know, I mean,
right.
It's important.
It is. Yeah. So anyway, it was almost the game that surprised me the most.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah. So number 2, Obsession.
Wow. So I knew I would love that game, so it's not on this list.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could totally see that. All right. My number 2 is kind of a weird pick because it's been around for a long time. It was actually published in 2015. But we have never played it until this year, and it was a big surprise. And it is called The Game. That's it. The Game.
Oh, wow.
And it's just a card game, right? And what you do is you have out these different, like there's 101, and one stack is counting down, and the other stack is counting up. There's two of each.
Yeah, 4 total.
Yeah, and on your turn, you have a hand of cards, and you play either ascending or descending order, and the cards are like 2 through 99.
Yeah.
And so you may have like 67 and 5, and like, you know, you have to figure out how to play these cards, and you have to play 2, and you're working together as a team, and you can't tell everybody what cards you have. And so, but you want to make sure you have a place to play cards.
The idea is to make as small a jump as possible. So if you're playing on the 100 deck, the idea would be that you would want to try and play like a 98 or a 99 or a 97, so that you're not jumping down, because as soon as they fill up to the other end, so the 100 deck gets to the 1, you can't play it anymore. Yeah. So you want to try and prolong that and stretch it out, and
so everybody can play all of their cards, because the goal is to get rid of the deck.
Yes.
And so it's a card shedding game. I definitely did not think this would be as fun as it is. It doesn't sound, even as we're explaining it, like it doesn't sound as fun as it is, but we've actually had a lot of fun playing this game. We have shown this game to several people, and they had a lot of fun playing this game. And I hadn't even heard of it until I just was like looking for fun card games. And I was like, we'll try it and see. It was so good. Yeah. I was so surprised at how good it was. And so that is my number 2, The Game.
All right. My number 1 is a Euro style game, which is surprising in and of itself, because I'm not a Euro game. I don't love a lot of Euro gaming.
Although you have a couple on your list already.
I do. Maybe I'm changing.
Maybe.
But my number 1 most surprising game of all of 2024 is Ark Nova. This is a game that even when we got it set out, I was a little intimidated by, to be honest with you. It's a huge footprint.
It takes up the whole table.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a Eurostyle game where you're building a zoo out, you're drafting cards, placing them in your zoo, and maybe doing some little combo things with them, or building them on each other. And there's a conservation aspect of it that gets you in-game points. And anyway, when we got this game out, I loved the theme. So that's what drew me to the game, was the theme. Animals and zoo, and and all of that stuff, I was in for.
Yeah.
But when I saw the game, I was like, man, I just don't think I'm going to like this game. And I was sad about it. But I was so wrong. It is one of my favorite games.
Yes.
It is so much fun.
It is.
I just, it's a game that I'm ready to play anytime anybody wants to play it. I just love it so much. Yeah.
So good.
So that was the biggest surprise game for me.
Yeah. My number one game, my number one surprise game is the opposite of Ark Nova.
Okay.
It is called No Thanks. And it's even older than the card game that I talked about before. Okay, this game is from 2004.
That is shocking.
Because it was surprising how good it was. So, if it's surprising, I got to play it. Yeah, so you have, let's see. I just blanked on the beginning of it.
Yeah, so you have these, we call them beans. They're little
tokens.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And there's a deck in the middle.
That's right. Okay, so you draw a card and you show it.
It's a number.
It's a number, and you have to decide if you're going to keep that card in front of you or pass it on. If you pass it on, you have to put one of your tokens on it and give that to the next person. They have the opportunity to take that token and keep the card, or put another token on it and pass it to the next player. And you don't want points in front of you, and you can easily get a lot of points, and so you're trying to get lower cards. Yeah. And so, but as it comes around, if it has 6, 7, 8 tokens on it, you might be like, hey, that's worth it, because each token you have at the end of the game is a point in your favor.
So you're getting a discount.
Yeah, so you take it and say, I'm willing to take this card in front of me because I have all these. And you do that until all of the cards are drafted, and then you see who has the most points at the end of the game.
Yep.
So, and whoever, or I should say the least points.
The least amount of points, yeah.
Points at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And that's the winner. And I think I like this game because we could play it with such diverse groups of people.
Oh, yeah.
And so you can have gamers play it and enjoy it. And you can have people who hardly ever play games sit down. You can explain it in 5 minutes, and everybody's playing and having a good time.
Yeah.
So I think, but the surprise came from this is a game from 2004. I didn't expect much from it, and it is fantastic. I love it.
It's really fun.
It is.
Yep.
So that was my number one surprise. No thanks.
Surprising to me.
All right. Well, if you liked this video, please comment below. Let us know what your most surprising game that you've played this year is in the comments. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.